Hey guys, I'm Kenny, and in today's episode, I'm going to be talking about the 3 growth stocks that I bought this month, January 2020, and I'm going to be breaking down the reasons why I bought them. Now, as we all know, there's many different ways of investing. We have passive investing, where you're investing in ETFs and mutual funds. Now, there's dividend investing, where you invest in a company that pays out quarterly dividends. And there's growth investing, which is something that I've really been interested in. Now, the main reason I like growth investing is because I believe that if you get into a winner early on in this growth cycle, you have the potential to get amazing gains over the next 4 or 5 years. So what we do here on this channel is break down these growth stocks and do in-depth analysis so we can find that next multi-bagger for our portfolio. So before we jump into this video, don't forget to smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. And if you guys want some free stocks or free money, links are going to be down below in the description where you can sign up with a brokerage, whether it's Robinhood, Webull, Sofi. And if you deposit $100, you can get a free stock or free money. Now with all that out of the way, let's dive right into the 3 stocks that I bought this month. Alright guys, so we're going to be diving into my brokerage account with Charles Schwab. So you can see it's updated as of January 16th. I'm currently at 150,000. And obviously it's done really well in the past year. However, this account I created right when I graduated in 2019, and I've been funding it with every paycheck. And as you can see, it's slowly accumulated over time, and over the past year, it's done pretty well. So we're going to be taking a look at my main brokerage account. You can see had a pretty nasty day, down about 2%. Now, the overall market was down about 0.7, 0.8%. However, since I'm mostly invested in growth stocks, I have bigger swings and it's way more volatile. So on the up days, it's really high. On low days, it's pretty low. So you just need to be able to take the highs with the lows. So this is currently where I'm standing at right now. Now, you guys are welcome to take a look at my positions. However, what I really want to focus on in this video is talking about Ipoe. Now, you guys can take a look at the kind of buys that I had with Ipoe, and this is the first stock that I initiated position in this month. Now, Ipoe is a SPAC, or Special Purpose Acquisition Company, backed by Chamath, and it's going to be merging with Sofi. Now, for those of you who don't know what Sofi is about, Sofi is a fintech company that is essentially created to help you get your money right and to get your personal finances straight. So Sofi is trying to be this all-in-one platform where you're able to manage all your different finances in one place. Many people have many different bank accounts, brokerage accounts, and it's all pretty fragmented and disjumbled. Sofi is really trying to be this one-stop shop where you're able to manage your bank accounts and your credit cards, your investment portfolio, get some loans for your house or your car. They're trying to do it all in one place and try to simplify the process. Now, I think Sofi is doing a pretty good job of this, and I really like the kind of space that they're in and where they're headed. Now, they have very competent management, and they have a whole bunch of different partnerships already. Now, one of the great things about Sofi is that they are doing a really good job on upselling the customers. Now, they boast that 65% of their loan business actually comes from existing customers. So they don't need to spend so much money on advertising costs and to try to acquire different customers, as their current customer base is a pool that they're able to tap into all the time. Now, if someone already has a checking account and a brokerage account with Sofi, it's most likely that they're going to go for a loan with Sofi, or they're going to have a savings account with Sofi. So it's really just having this one user is able to do and drive a lot more revenue and a lot more business for them. As they continue to grow and gain economies of scale, Sofi will continue to do well and become a fintech giant that will start replacing other means of banking and other means of doing personal finance. Okay, and up next we have BYND Meat. Now, I recently bought BYND Meat, and I bought a small starter position with about 10 shares with a cost per share about $122. Now, BYND Meat is in a very interesting place. Now, for me personally, I know a lot of people who are trying to cut out meat in their diet and are trying to have more healthy diets and trying to incorporate a more healthy lifestyle. I think that this wave is here to stay. It's not just a fad. And there's a lot of people who are really looking for alternative means of having meat intake. I think BYND Meat's products are really good and actually pretty tasty. And I think that their brand and their partnerships will continue to do really well. Now, Beyond Meat is clearly the number one player in this space, and I believe it's a winner takes most market. And what I mean by winner takes most is that as this industry continues to grow, I think Beyond will continue to gain majority market share out of this market. Now, Beyond Meat has a really strong mission, and they're doing good in this world, and they're really trying to take on a huge industry, $1 trillion industry. Now, I still think we're in the early innings of fake meat or these meat alternatives, and I can definitely see a lot more people incorporating this into the diet, as not only do their products taste good, but it's also healthier and it helps the environment as well. Now, I initiated a pretty small position, about 10 shares. Now, Beyond Meat has actually been trading downwards in the past 2 to 3 months because it actually had a pretty big quarterly miss. Now, it missed on its both top line and bottom line pretty significantly, and that actually shook out a whole bunch of investors as they're pretty unsure of their future outlook. Now, what happened in the quarter is that Beyond Meat saw pretty robust revenue growth in their retail and grocery store side of things. However, when it came to the food service industry, they were hit pretty hard as a lot of businesses and a lot of different restaurants had to close. And that had a huge impact on their both top and bottom line. Now, obviously, Roni Rona is a once in a century kind of event. Now, I believe this is a short-term headwind that actually won't affect Beyond Meat's business in the long term. I thought this was a pretty good chance to actually pick up some shares, and that's what I did. The stock popped about 14 to 15% after it announced its partnership with Taco Bell, and I think Beyond Meat's brand, first mover advantage, and its partnerships will really help bolster its business and continue to push it further, and I think it has a really good long-term prospects. Okay, and with that, we have our third stock. Gotta go back. I bought this in my Roth IRA account. I bought CCIV, and I bought this pretty heavily as well. Now, CCIV, or Churchill Capital Corp 4, is reportedly in talks to merge with Lucid Motors. Now, Lucid Motors is a very high-end luxury EV maker, and they've been around for a really long time. Now, Lucid Motors was actually created in 2007, and they're actually creating batteries. However, they pivoted their business and started making electric vehicle cars about 4 to 5 years ago. Now, I've been a big fan of Lucid Motors for about 3 to 4 years after Marquez Brownlee put this on my map, and I've always wanted to invest in this company. However, I just never had the chance to. Their CEO is a ex-Tesla chief engineering officer. Now, Lucid Motors is going to be producing the Lucid Air, which is expected to come out in spring 2021. Now, it has 4 different models of its car, and it's all expected to start rolling out later this year and into 2022. Now, Lucid specs are very impressive, and if they are able to live up to what they're saying, I think they have a really bright future ahead of them. Now, they're boasting over 500 miles in one battery charge, over 1,000 horsepower, and a 0 to 60 in 2.5 seconds. Lucid Motors also has a huge factory that they're just beginning to ramp up production in Arizona, and I think once this factory is ready and they're actually able to reach maximum capacity, they're going to be pumping out a lot of these cars, and the revenue is going to be insane. Now, I want to quickly address some of the key things that point towards why CCIV will actually go through with a merger with Lucid Motors. Now, the first reason is because Michael Klein, who is essentially the CEO of Churchill Capital Corp, has a lot of past relationships with the Saudis. Now, Michael Klein is an important advisor in the Saudi Arabian Public Investment Fund. And the Saudis own about 50 to 60% of Lucid Motors. Now, not only that, but Andrew Leveris, who is the chairman of the Lucid Board of Directors and the operating partner of CCIV, was named special advisor to the Saudi Arabian Public Investment Fund. Now, he's expected to guide this Saudi private investment fund towards the Saudis' vision of 2030 that would diversify the economy away from oil. Okay, so to me, that alone, these connections are a pretty clear sign that they have a lot of working relationships and that they are in talks of getting this done. However, I do want to address one thing that I saw on Twitter. This is a little bit more speculative, but just bear with me, guys. This guy named Alex Cutler says he has inside sources towards Lucid Motors and that they're planning on taking it public. Now, in his tweet, he says, CCIV, update via source. Meeting was about to go public. Lucid Motors plans to go public by April so they can start distributing vehicles by June. They can neither confirm nor deny using the reverse merger pathway to go public, but clearly the fastest way to hit this deadline. Now, in other words, Alex is saying that Lucid Motors had an internal meeting talking about going public and that they're planning on going public by April so they can start putting out their vehicles by June. Now, the only way that this can actually happen by June is by reverse merger. If they go through the traditional IPO route, it's going to take over a year, as there's many different loops to have to jump through and a lot of different paperwork, and the whole process is lengthy. That's why a lot of people decide to go through the SPAC route, because it's pretty instant. Now, because they're starting production into their cars as soon as spring 2021, I believe this would be the perfect time for Lucid Motors to go public, and the capital that they would raise from going public would significantly help boost their production capability and boost their operations. To me, all these signs point towards that this is happening, and for me, I'm willing to take that bet. Now, I got in around $14, and the downside is only about $10, which is about their NAV. And if this merger does go through, to me personally, I can't see the stock staying under $20 or even $30. I think as more people gain wind of Lucid Motors and its product and its leadership, I think a lot of people are going to catch wave of this and want to get in. Now, I'm not saying Lucid Motors is going to be the next Tesla or even the next big EV, but for me personally, I really like their product. I like where they're going, and I'm willing to take a bet with my own money that this is going to happen. Alright guys, so that was my 3 stocks that I bought in January so far. Now, the first stock I bought was Ipoe, or Sofi. Second stock I bought was Beyond Meat. And third stock I bought was CCIV, reportedly Lucid Motors. Now, I'm really excited about all these companies. They all have great long-term prospects, and they're all working in fast-growing industries. Now, I always preach to invest in what you know, and to always take the appropriate risk in these growth stocks, as they can be very volatile, and the downside could be pretty drastic. Now, if you guys have stuck around, you guys probably know that this is a different format for me. However, I did want to try it out, so let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think. If you guys like it, if you guys don't like it, just feel free to let me know. I'm really enjoying making content for you guys, and I'm really happy to see this channel growing with over 200 subs. Now, if you guys have found this content helpful, please go ahead and share it, or go ahead and like. Alright guys, and with that, I'll go ahead and see you in the next video, and let's go get that bag.